This is 5 on your side at 4. Focused on you.
Right now at 4, floodwater clogs in East St. Louis neighborhood, the high water left over from yesterday's storms. Residents there are blaming the city's failing infrastructure for what they call an ongoing problem. Thanks for being here at 4. I'm Kay Quinn.
And I'm Brent Solomon. Those concerns coming in a day before another round of storms is expected to move through the bi-state. Weather First Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell will have more on that in just a moment. But first, we begin our coverage with meteorologist Tracy Henson, live in East St. Louis. Tracy, what's being done to get a handle on all those issues?
So the first thing is taking a look at the issue itself. I walked around the neighborhood here with the new city manager, as well as a resident who's lived here for 30 years. The next step is going to be surveilling, but unfortunately, there's going to be no fix that'll be quick and that could get done in time for the storms tomorrow. Now, geographically, East St. Louis sits in a low area along the Mississippi River. Since it is so close, it is fairly flat. Storm runoff has to be carried to the river by pumps and pipes or absorbed into the ground. Recent rainfall has saturated the ground and overwhelmed the pipes, leading to this. Flooded roads, sump pumps fighting a downhill battle and ultimately losing, causing flooding basements. City Manager Robert Betts has been out multiple times to survey. He says the pumps are working, so now it requires investigation.
Well, the first thing would be to get a sewer televising company on board to get the lines cleaned out, get a camera down in the lines, find out what's going on, see if there's a blockage or something going on, and make sure the lines are jetted and clean, and go from there. And that'll tell us what we need to do.
Now, there is a chance that those pipes are indeed clear and that it's just too much water for the system itself. If that is the case, Betts tells me that they might look into adding a retention pond to this area, somewhere for that water to drain off, or more drastically, potentially adding it to the Illinois Department of Natural Resources flood buyout zone. So those are two options that could potentially face this area if those pipes are indeed clear. In East St. Louis, I'm Tracy Henson, 5 on your side.
All right, thank you, Tracy. Weather First Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell is already tracking our next round of storms.
Here we go again. Scott, when could we see for tomorrow's weather?
Well, we're not really expecting much in the way of severe weather for most of tomorrow. The chances are really limited, and the chances are mainly during the afternoon. And for that matter, it looks like now the rain we were expecting in the morning that potentially could be a little bit heavy, that seems to have shifted as well. So here's our main threats from a severe weather standpoint tomorrow, especially from the metro area south and east. Gusts to 50 to 60 miles per hour, dime to nickel size hail. Maybe you get a brief spin up tornado, but it's going to take a lot to generate that. And right now, those ingredients sure do look limited. We've seen the clearing sky around the St. Louis area with temperatures going back into the 70s this afternoon. That's what it looks like over in O'Fallon right now. Good looking shot there. On the Illinois side, downtown, we've got the break in the rain today, which we badly needed. Some of us saw 2 to 3 or more inches of rain yesterday, but that weather alert for Thursday with more potential showers and a spot strong storm possible tomorrow. Again, any heavy rainfall, even though it's not likely, any of it that does occur could cause some localized flooding concerns. And there's 2 opportunities for that tomorrow into Friday. More on that in a few minutes, Kay.
All right, we'll see you then. Thank you, Scott. Right now, repairs are being made inside the St. Louis Cat Clinic. The building in the 3400 block of Hampton Avenue was forced to close today after yesterday's heavy rain caused it to flood. As of right now, the Cat Clinic is set to reopen tomorrow morning at 9.
Right now, Wydown Boulevard is back open at Hillville Drive after a large tree fell in Clayton overnight. Crews worked for several hours to clear all of the debris here. That road opened back up around noon. Remember, you can stay on top of the storms anytime. Text the word weather to 314-425-5355. We'll send you a link to your phone.
Right now, police are looking for the man who shot another person in a road rage incident in St. Louis County. It happened around 8:30 this morning on Interstate I-170 near Delmar Boulevard. University City Police located the victim on an exit ramp. The driver said they were in the southbound lanes of I-170 when gunfire from another driver hit them in the arm. The suspect drove off west on Delmar in a black Toyota sedan. Anyone with information is asked to call U-City Police or Crime Stoppers at 866-371-TIPS. Hours ago, a father and son were sentenced for bringing large amounts of cocaine into the St. Louis area. Gregory Dixon Jr. will serve 15 years behind bars. His son, Gregory Dixon III, was sentenced to 10 years, 1 month in prison. Investigators say since at least 2015, they conspired with others to bring more than 500 kilos to St. Louis. Both pleaded guilty in January. The top candidates for president will meet on the debate stage. Today, President Biden and former President Trump agreed to 2 general election debates.
So the highly anticipated face-off comes as Trump's legal troubles have him tied up in court. It also comes amid a new mixed inflation report. NBC's Alice Barr reports from Washington.
The stage is set for a long-awaited showdown between President Biden and former President Trump, both candidates agreeing to 2 debates on June 27th and September 10th. The details rolling out within hours of President Biden issuing this challenge.
Donald Trump lost 2 debates to me in 2020. Since then, he hadn't shown up for debate. Now he's acting like he wants to debate me again. Well, make my day, pal.
Mr. Trump, who has repeatedly said he would debate anytime, anywhere, quickly agreed to the debates, adding, "Let's get ready to rumble," and saying on the Hugh Hewitt show,
I really think he has to debate. He might as well get it over with. Probably should do it early so that he can, he's not going to get any better.
No, but June and September is great.
It's a down factor for him.
In a break from tradition, the candidates going around the Commission on Presidential Debates to instead face off with no live audience in a TV studio. First up, CNN.
I think we're in such a momentous moment. And I think there's questions about both of these candidates' capabilities.
The first debate set to come in the wake of former President Trump's ongoing New York hush money trial, a chance for a massive audience to hear him directly address whatever the outcome may be. But while the former president's legal troubles loom, voters in several recent polls rank him higher on the critical issue of the economy. President Biden saying today, quote, "Fighting inflation and lowering costs is my top economic priority," as a new report showed inflation easing slightly in April, though consumer prices are still stubbornly high, up 3.4% from last year. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Some Missouri state senators drag a nonstop overnight debate into a second day in Jefferson City. The proposed legislation Democratic lawmakers are trying to block.
And making our city's main thoroughfares a bit safer, where you can see the traffic redesign plan for Kings Highway from Botanical to Arsenal.